Alrighty. Well, I did it again with the dramatic intro. So I might keep that. I don't know, but I had to change the text to Thursday night live stream. Since we are here on a Thursday night, this is sort of a last minute decision. But yeah, let me know what you guys think about the the old intro there. Let's see what we have in the chat. What's up, Rob? Good to see you. I didn't know if you would tune in. I texted you earlier like, should I do this? But yeah, you're right. Yay, booze. Daniel, what's up? Just came on now. 3-year-old son to bed. Hopefully he'll be back before you log off. Sent you a response earlier today. Yes, I did get your response, and yeah, it's just been a busy couple of days, but I'm going to get back to you, and I have some ideas for some trades, actually. I saw the picture that you sent, and there are a few things on there that I'm interested in, and I think maybe we could arrange something, and I've got a couple things that you might be interested in as well. So anyways, good to see you, Daniel, and I'm looking forward to trying those bookers that you were talking about. Peter, a little over the top of what the hell. That's exactly right. You know, my channel at first, well, it's always been sort of reserved, I guess, with all the jazz music, but I decided, yeah, let's do a little dubstep action with this crazy intro. Yeah, I might change it. I might make some sort of more balanced, less over-the-top thing, but, you know, we'll see. We'll see. Okay, well, we've got 6 in here right now. Thank you guys for, I know I was on here Monday, and we're back here again on Thursday. I really appreciate you being here and everything like that. I've got a couple of really fun things planned that I'm excited about. Monday's live stream was a lot of fun for me to do some blind pours. The Buffalo Trace Mash Bill 2, of course, kind of knew what was going on there, but then the Mystery Mash Bill blind flight was a lot of fun. So I decided to kind of run with that concept tonight and try to do a couple of other blind things, but this time I'm going to have pretty much no idea what's in the mix. So that's a little bit more exciting for me. Rob says, keep the epicness. No matter what you do. Yeah, I'll just try to out-epic all the other Whiskey Tube channels with all of my over-the-top music. Awesome. So, yeah, anyways, what I was saying is that tonight I think I am going to be doing this set of 4 blind pours. I went in there this morning and was talking to my fiance, and I was like, hey, will you pour me 4 anything that you want? But what I'm thinking is you do 1 bourbon, 1 scotch, 1 rye, and then 1 anything that you want. So she said yes. So she came in here and did it at about 3:45, and we put those in sample bottles, which I have back here, and they're simply numbered. And then all of the sample bottles have a corresponding note card that on the other side is going to tell me what's in there. And I'm going to show all of you, like I did on Monday night, I'm going to show you what's on the note card, what's in the sample bottle, as I am nosing and tasting these things so that you'll know and I will not. But again, like on Monday night, I hope that you will not spoil the fun and put it in the chat. If you put it in the chat, I'll just close my chat window and not look at chat until it's done because I don't want anything spoiled. But it was kind of funny earlier because she poured all 4 of these for me and, left the room and everything. And as I was walking out, I said I wasn't going to look at my whiskey shelf. I didn't want to see any bottles that had been moved or anything like that, but my eye was caught by my 4 Roses single barrel. The fill level looked suspect. So I went in there and I said, hey, I said, did you pour 4 Roses single barrel? Because if you did, you need to go put that back and re-pour something else. So she said yes. So I definitely know it's not 4 Roses single barrel unless she just kept it there and didn't tell me. So I have no idea. Aiden, what's up? Hey, good to see you. Very blind then. Yes, this is going to be very blind. First thing is obviously try to identify if it's a bourbon, scotch, or rye. Or I guess she could have chosen, don't really have any Irish, so couldn't really be that many other things. But if it's one of those, and then try to determine what exactly it is. So that's what we're looking at. And then I'm going to take all of you through my whiskey shelf. Not that exciting. It's just a single shelf here with about 150 bottles on it. And some bottles behind me as well. But I've been getting a lot of comments on some videos asking me, hey, are you going to do a video about your shelf? And like I might in the future, but right now it just seemed like it was more suited to a live stream, anyways. Plus, I want to get some more people on the live streams. Things have been steadily growing here, and that's been great. All right. Let me know what you guys are sipping on right now, if you are having a sippy sip of something. I realize it's Thirsty Thursday, so let me know. Peter says, my dad used to check the fill levels too. That's funny. Yeah, my dad never drank hard liquor, so this was never an issue. He just pounds the beers, so fill levels were never an issue in my household growing up. That's kind of funny. Thought I would show you all this. This is what I've got a new camera. I've got 2 cameras now, which is great for the workflow. So this is my second camera. It's the same exact one that I'm shooting on as well, but this is what I'm going to use to show all of you my my whiskey shelf over there. So I'm excited to. Okay, there we go. Sorry, I must have lost my audio there because of that second camera I had hooked up. Let me know if you guys can hear me now. Sorry about that. Little panic moment there. Check, check. I think we're good. I think we are good. Sweet. Amateur hour. Amateur hour. Okay, well, let me put this off the screen here. Okay. Well, cool. Let's get to it. I have these bottles here, just a couple of bottles. Maybe if this stream goes quickly, I've been wanting to taste some of these things on air, doing either the Discovery comparison. I have 2 batches of Smoke Wagon Uncut Unfiltered. I'd love to do that comparison. Or drink some Knob 12, which I haven't reviewed yet. But also Glenfarclas 25, which is the cheapest 25-year-old Scotch you're probably ever going to find that's not Costco brand. So I'm going to maybe end the night with one of those. We'll see. Okay, thank you guys for letting me know about the sound. And let's get to it. So here we go. Here's my first glass. Got to rearrange a few things here. So I think I'm going to go off the keto diet. I have done this for 6 weeks and I've lost 10 pounds, which is amazing. But it is sort of wrecking my body a bit. And maybe I'll talk about that a little more later. But just so much like abdominal pain, and I've been supplementing with vitamins and minerals and everything, and I still cannot get it right. So I might have to go off keto and just really work out hard with carbs back in my life. It's a little bit sad for me. What's up, Nick? Hey, all you cool cats and kittens. Carol fucking Baskin. That's awesome. Okay, so glass number 1. I'm going to do this again. This is my test card to make sure you guys can read this as we get into this. I asked Sarah after Monday night's live stream to write bigger on these cards so that you can all see them. So again, give me a thumbs up in the chat if you can see this. Again, 4 blind pours, 1 Scotch, rye, bourbon, and a mystery pour. Could be anything of my 100 and probably 70-ish bottles that I have. So here is glass number 1, and I'm going to look away now. So let me all know if you can see this. Move it closer, move it further away, and down. Give me a thumbs up, please, in the chat. Okay, time to pour this bad boy. Okay. Overexposed, huh? Couldn't see it. Couldn't see it. Let's see if I hold this up. Yeah, it is overexposed, isn't it? Just a little bit. There, if I go this close, I'll do that again.
Let me know if you guys can see this now. Yeah, I've got my lighting set up just a little bit different tonight, and I was really rushed getting into this stream, so I apologize for that. Let me know this time if you guys could see it. Glass number one. Beautiful. Beautiful. Remember, do not tell me what is in this glass. Very clear. Smells scotchy from right here already. Smells real scotchy. Okay. Nick says, on the way home with a knob twice barrel dry. I've heard mixed reviews on that one. I've been curious, but not curious enough to drop the money just yet. Oh, yeah, this is definitely a Scotch in glass number one. Be curious to see what we have here. Definitely got some sherry in there. Color is, it's not something that's making me think that it is 100% Oloroso sherry or anything older than like 15 years. I think the color would be different, a little darker, a little more red, but it's definitely got some sherry influence in this Scotch, just right away on the nose. Yeah. There's a nice like ginger note in here. I love Scotch. I love doing Scotch next to bourbon because the tasting and notes and everything are just so different, and it's fun to not always be saying caramel and butterscotch and vanilla. Like when you get ginger or you get like, I don't know, like a flower garden or anything like this, it's so much more. It's so much nicer to go to Scotch sometimes. Yeah, of course, like those typical sherry stewed red fruits. There's a nice amount of toffee in here. This almost makes me think that there's some sort of combination of sherry casks and ex bourbon casks in here, but I'm not sure. Not a lot of spice going on. There's that sort of funk, that sherry funk. But there definitely is like a vanilla note in there as well, like a toffee mixed with vanilla. I'm going to check this out on the palate. Cheers, everybody. There's the spice for sure. Spicier than I thought it was going to be based on the nose. Good Christmas cake type notes, like baking spices. Rich toffee on the palate. Peter White, I love Scotch as well. I have many bottles. Rye is my first love. I'm still working on the rye thing, but I am increasingly liking it more and more, and I think I need to pull the trigger on like a Kentucky Owl or some high level rye. Although I love Pikesville, my God, that's great. Mostly a peated Scotch fan. Yes, I'm gonna make my return to peated Scotch one of these days. Hey, for everybody that's on here right now, I know it's probably some of my typical audience, and thank you guys so much. If you haven't liked the channel or subscribed to the channel, please do. I was at 197 when the stream started, so if I could hit 200 tonight, that would be super cool. Now when you come back, it's always so different when you have your first sip and come back to nose one of these, anything, any type of whiskey. The flavors explode out of the glass a lot better. Yeah, there's like a damp oak character in here now, like French oak. All right, one more on the palate here. Mmm, some sweeter some sweeter notes are coming through now. There's a little bit of pineapple, a little bit of tropical fruit in this. Interesting. Pikesville is the bomb. Just as a reminder, here's what we have in glass number one for anybody joining in. Don't know if you could see that. Okay, so my mind goes to a couple things here. This is definitely a sherried Scotch, but it's not deep and rich. It's not a Glendronach 18 and not a Glendronach 21. Those would have definitely more influence from the sherry casks. This is reminding me of like a Tamdu, possibly. Tamdu 12, Tamdu 15. Reminding me maybe of a Macallan double cask, perhaps. I don't think that this is a Macallan sherry oak. It could be, but it seems a little reserved on the sherry notes to be something like that. I could see it being a Glendronach 12 or 15 possibly. Those are a little bit lighter. Need the new, oh yeah, I've been wanting to grab this. Ah, good point. I always forget you're in Canada, Peter. Yeah, that is a bottle that I've really wanted to find, but all of the taters tatered all of them up here in Ohio. So those are not going to be found anywhere here. So I might have to go to the old secondary for that, unfortunately. Yeah, that is if it shows up in Canada. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and leave glass one for now, knowing full well at this point that it is a Scotch. I'm not going to venture a guess just yet. It is a Scotch. It has been in sherry casks at some point, and it is reminding me of possibly a Macallan 12 double cask, a Tamdu, I'm going to say Tamdu 15 in this case, or it could be a Glendronach 12 or 15. That's where I'm at right now. Okay. Let's leave that. Yeah, I think that's what we're. Yeah, I'm gonna go with that. Let's go to glass number 2 now. All right. Oh yeah, so about that. Oh, that's awesome, Aiden. Nice work. About that keto thing, yeah, it's been rough. I tell you what. And it's probably user error, although I know it doesn't work for everybody. It resolved a lot of issues for me, and my head has never been so clear as it has been for these last 6 or 7 weeks. Like, and I don't need to eat that much. I can eat like 2 meals a day, and I don't have to gorge myself. It's been really great in that sense, but like physically just taking a toll. I'm going to end up going to the doctor and just making sure everything's all good because it's been kind of spooking me a bit. But I'm going to have to slowly work those carbs back in. Really unfortunate, but yeah, 10 pounds down. As long as I can keep that off and keep going and get back in the gym, I'm going to be really happy about that. All right, so glass number 2 here. Let me pour it. And let me show you guys what's in glass number 2. Let me know if you can see this note card. Okay. Whew, that is sweet. That is sickly sweet. Oh, goodness. Whew. I am not sure what we have in here. Reminding me of like a... Reminding me of a bourbon. Maybe something that's double oaked or has spent time in rum casks. That kind of sweetness is here. That like cane sugar, overt sweetness. Whew, really sweet. And kind of lower proof here as well. I didn't really talk about proof in glass 1, and when I revisit it, I'm sure I will talk proof on that one. This one seems to be like sub 100 proof. Maybe right under 100 proof. Getting some banana notes here. I'm getting some candied cherry. Getting some... Yeah, candied cherry. That's heavy. Really sweet. I'm not sure. Like, I could see this being a finished whiskey. I could see this being... Yeah, like rum cask is what I'm thinking. But it doesn't seem as sweet as like the Angel's Envy rye. That thing is like crazy sweet. This is not quite that sweet. But, yeah, cherry banana. Almost like Old Forester banana in there. And it's got oak, but it's sweet oak. It's not sour, not like dense or anything like that. And of course, typical caramel in here, like a good bit of vanilla. Let's check this out on the palate. Kind of a flat palate. I mean, like a pop of spice up front, like pepper spice, a little bit of baking spice, but mostly peppery. And then pretty flat on the palate. That sweetness didn't translate as much as I thought it would. God, the banana is so apparent now in this glass. Whew, yeah, night and day difference between glass number 1. Definitely dealing with a Scotch and some sort of bourbon, it seems like here. What do we got up here? They only made like 20,000 bottles of that Jack Daniel's rye, and there's people who bought like yeah. Oh my gosh. Ooh, Peter's got a New York source. Hook me up with that source. I need one of those. Man, well, Pikesville actually sits, Nick, on the shelf, like in Kentucky, anywhere else except Ohio. It used to be at the Bexley Liquor Agency here in town. I could find Pikesville there whenever I wanted, but I don't think that's the case anymore. It used to also be at Northwest Wine and Spirits a lot. Okay, so this glass number 2, I'm feeling this banana note really heavily. I'm also feeling like this is a double oaked bourbon. I could see this being a 1792, like, bottled in bond or single barrel. I don't think it's a small batch. A small batch is usually spicier, but the banana note points me towards possibly 1792 bottled in bond or single barrel because they're close to that 100 proof. Bottled in bond, obviously 100. I could see this being a Woodford double oaked, although I'm not getting as much. I get some like bready notes in the Woodford double oaked. I also get, strangely enough, like some deep barbecue char notes in that. I'm not really getting that here, but it is a possibility. I could also see this being Old Forester 1910. Yeah, I could definitely see this being the 1910. Although, this could also be the Old Forester rye because that thing is strange because it's a high malt rye and it does have those banana notes. So it could also be Old Forester rye. Yeah. Okay, so I'm kind of between those things for glass number 2. Let's go ahead and leave glass number 2. Again, I'll remind you all what is in the glass. We've got this. So I hope I'm on the right track at this point, but I have no idea. Because this could be a bourbon or a rye now that Old Forester rye is in the mix. I don't think I have any other like finished ryes that this could be with this level of sweetness in there, but who knows? Okay, well, let's go to glass number 3 now. And hey, guys, let me know what you think about the format, like about maybe I might have frozen here. Looks like my connection might have frozen. Let me know if the connection is okay on your end. But let me know what you guys think about the format here, about blind tasting like this. I'd be curious to know all of your thoughts and everything like that. I'm gonna, keep trying new things here and seeing what works and what doesn't. All right, glass number 3. The old Pourri pour. Still good. Great. Thanks, Rob. All right, glass number 3. Oh, man, this is super weird. Really funky and musty. Here, let me show you guys what's in glass number 3 here. Okay. I'm going to keep checking this one out. This one has some age to it. This definitely has some age to it. It almost smells like a dusty to me. It's funky, it's old, it's just got that funk going on. Tons of rich caramel here. Lots of oak, some cherry influence. Some nice cinnamon spice and baking spices in there. Interesting. I'm gonna go ahead and taste this. Thank you guys. I'm seeing never focused on glass number 3 here. Let me show you guys again what is in behind door number 3. Let me know if you can see this. The old exposure. It's killing me. Let me know if you saw it that time. All right, let's see what we got here. Interesting. Let me check the camera here. Go down one stop there on the old exposure. Darn, you guys are killing me. I can't get anything right here. Yeah. One day I'm going to figure this system out, you know? One of these days. I'm just doing this to test it out. Okay. All right, let's try it. Let's try it again here. We'll see. We'll see if it worked. Beautiful. Thank you all. Okay, so this is glass number 3. Hey, Brian Walsh. Good to see you. Hey, I apologize I haven't responded to your comment. I saw it on my video about the drum corps thing. Yeah, let me throw you up here on the screen, Brian. Yeah, so the symbol in the background you commented on, I did march drum corps. I was a quad player for the Blue Devils in 2014. I was going to do 2015 and 2016 as well, but I had to go to grad school, had to get ready for that, so I had to stop doing drum corps. I also marched Rhythm X for indoor once upon a time between 2012 and 2014. So yes, I am a drum corps person, and in my day job, in my real life, I am a full-time musician. So yes, good to see you here, Brian. Thank you for coming in and checking out the live stream. That's awesome. Okay, back to glass 3. Yeah, definitely. There's actually some like cardboard, like a dry cardboard note in here now. That mustiness is sort of subsiding just a bit. This is definitely strange. This has got to be a bourbon. This has to be a bourbon in the glass. For those of you just joining, we're doing 4 blind pours. 1 Scotch, 1 bourbon, 1 rye, and 1 mystery pour. That could be anything, so my job is to determine which one of those it is and then try to identify the bottle out of about 170 bottles that I have here in my collection. So that's what we're doing right now. We are on glass number 3, and we're going to go back through all of these as well very quickly. I'm just taking my time on my first pass through all of these glasses. This one is tough. Good proof here. I'd say around 100 proof. Good amount of spice. The mustiness, like I said, is fading. Definitely fading away here. I'm going to pour some more in my glass because I'm running low. Rob. Yes, I do know John Honeycutt. He taught me in high school, actually. So I do know John Honeycutt. How do you know John Honeycutt? That is the real question. Oh, gosh, yeah. Glass 3 is throwing me for a loop. I'm still getting some banana in this glass for some reason, like I was in glass number 2. It's not nearly as strong. Oh, this is confusing. It's definitely got more spice than glass 2. It seems higher proof than glass 2. So, yeah, I am not entirely sure what is going on here. Oh, wow, you went to undergrad with John. That's awesome. You up at BG. I'm not sure that John finished there, but he's definitely been doing music for such a long time. Oh, gosh, guys. This is tough. These blind pours are tough. I'm going to have to start making some guesses here. Let me take a little peek over at my bourbon shelf. See if anything catches my eye. I don't believe this is a Buffalo Trace product. It doesn't seem to have quite enough honey sweetness to be a Buffalo Trace product. Though I could be wrong. We'll come back to glass 3. I don't really have a guess for that. Glass 1 and 2, I have a range of a few guesses. Glass 3, no, I am confused here. Thank you guys for the likes. I'm seeing some more likes come in on the video. That's awesome. I feel young. Aiden. What does that mean? What is that in reference to? Just college things or what? Okay. Let's go to glass 4. let's go ahead and get this thing poured out. See what the hell we got here. Oh, you're 23. I had no idea. Wow. I am, what am I? I'm 26 now. Wait. Yes, I'm 26. I stopped counting after like 21, 22. Stopped counting. Yeah, I'm at that ripe old age where you lose health insurance, you know? That age. Alrighty, glass number 4. Let me get a little smell here and see what we have. Jesus Christ, all of these 2, 3, and 4 have very similar profiles. And maybe this is Sarah being totally harsh to me. It very well might be. She knows her way around my bourbon shelf and everything else, and she might be playing some tricks on me. So I have to be ready for that right now. Ah, yes, this makes sense. Hey, man. 36. 36 is the new 20, Rob. Come on. Okay. This has more cherry than the other glasses here. Let me show you what's in glass number 4. Let me know, again, if you can see it. I think I'm in the correct spot for this to be visible. Let me know if you guys can see that. Peter says he has 2 daughters older than that. That's funny. Yeah, you'll have to, not sure if your liver's going to know that. Brian, I feel old. No, I am started getting into drum course in the mid-70s, total old school. Wow, that's awesome. Yeah, I mean, drum corps, it's so funny to see how much it has evolved over the years, you know, from just like the straight forward and back and all of those old drill that they used to do, you know, to now it being a full-scale production on the field. So that's always really cool for me to see and everything like that. Great, you guys saw what was in glass number 4. Glass number 4 has some spice. This could be a rye whiskey. At the very least, it's got to be a high rye bourbon. Cheers to that, says Nick. Yeah, absolutely. And for those of you who don't know, Aiden works in a liquor store, so that is funny. Yeah, definitely some good spice here on glass 4. Let me put 4, 3, and 2 next to each other, because I believe that all of these are either bourbon or rye. I don't believe any of these are Scotch. And I believe glass 1 is the only Scotch that we have here. So this will be a nice comparison to kind of see what we have going on here. All right, so I'm going to go back to glass 2, which glass 2 reminded me of a double oaked product. I was most sold in my brain on probably Old Forester 1910 for this. But let's see what we have. Yeah, still that distinct cane sugar sweetness, banana, and candied cherry. And just a ton of sweet oak there on glass 2. I'm going to say that is a bourbon and that is Old Forester 1910. I'm going to lock that answer in there for glass number 2. It's so distinct. Okay, glass 3. Again, now that I come back to it, it's hitting me with that crazy mustiness that I got the first time. This could be an old Weller 12. This might be would it be a new Weller 12? I have 4 different Weller 12s over there from different eras. So this could be many different Weller 12s. It's reminding me though of that dusty Weller quality that you get. It's really sweet, but it's got this strange sort of tobacco and really aged oak and musty funk to it. But there's also I said earlier, there was a stale cardboard or dry cardboard kind of thing, and sometimes you get that with these dusties. But still very sweet, very like lots of vanilla forward, and nice creamy rich caramel. on the palate again. But the palate is not taking me there. The palate's taking me some cherry on the palate. I didn't get that last time. The palate's taking me somewhere else here on glass number 3. If you see me look this way, I'm looking at my whiskey shelf to go, what the hell is this? You forget what you have, and you have to remind yourself by looking over, you know? It could be a Buffalo Trace product on glass number 3 here. But that mustiness is throwing me for a loop. Peter says, did you get the spring... Oh, no, I did not. And that sounds delectable. In Ohio, we get no Springbank. We don't import any of that. Our distributors don't get it, or however it's working here. We get 0 Springbank. So all of that for me is either ordering online, which now we have some new laws that passed in the summer of 2020. We can get almost 0 online orders in Ohio, save for a few places that are really overcharged. So I have to go secondary on any Springbank products, which that's already an expensive bottle to begin with. And when you go secondary on it, it just breaks the wallet. So unfortunately, no. That's another one of those where it's like, oh my God, if I had a friend out of state, I might drive over to Indianapolis one of these days and try to hunt some Springbank down. But I have not had anything older than 15 years from Springbank. I love the 15 and the Springbank 21. Excuse me, the Springbank 21 2020 release. That is like sort of a bucket list bottle for me because of all of the crazy finished Springbank they've blended in there. It looks like motor oil, and I want that 21-year-old very badly. I'd probably pay up to about $400 for that bottle, but no experience with the 17 Madeira. Brian says, yes, Weller Antique and Special Reserve seem to grow on trees in Ohio. Yes, those two for sure. The rest of them are all lottery bottles, and we never see them. But Antique hasn't shown up in about 4 or 5 weeks. But when it does show up, holy shit, it is everywhere. I mean, some of the places in Cleveland will get 20, 25 cases, and they sell them by the case because they just have to get rid of it because they get the same amount every week. God, that sounds great. See, Hazelburn is another one we don't get in Ohio. We get nothing. The only Campbelltown stuff that we get is Glen Scotia. We only get the Glen Scotia 15, like for whatever reason, which is a great pour, but Springbank is a little bit more funky and sort of advanced, I think. Hayden says, this flight's going to be interesting for sure. Yeah. Well, you guys know what it is. I don't know what the hell is in these glasses, and it's flipping me out. Yeah, absolutely on the Weller. Aiden, look, man, if you ever want an antique, if you ever need an antique, let me know. When they do start coming back around here, I'm totally willing to cost and ship that. Oh, you're not a fan? Well, never mind. Take that back. Kilcaren 12, again, another one we don't see in Ohio. God, it's so unfortunate. Oh, Peter, I didn't know you were buddies with, what is his name? Whiskey in the Six. I'm totally blanking, and I'm an idiot because I watch a lot of his videos, too. Not as many as I watch from Ralphie and from others, but Whiskey in the Six, yeah, absolutely. That's very cool that you know him. I'm so sorry that I'm blanking on his name. Rob. Jesus Christ, yeah. And Jeremy is Sipper Social Club. I get those guys mixed up because they're doing that podcast now. All right, so Glass 2, I said Old Forester 1910. That's got to be my final answer. Glass 3, still confused. Glass 4, here we go again, revisiting Glass 4. Yeah, and again, good spice here. For some reason, I get banana in 2 and 4. Like, maybe not as much in 4. I'm wondering if she's playing an Old Forester trick on me here. What's interesting about this flight is I know that there has to be a rye in here, based on the fact that I told Sarah to pour me a rye. That has to be Glass 3 or 4. The spice in Glass 4 tells me that that is the rye. But Glass 3 could be playing tricks on me. Although I don't think it is. Just not on the nose. There's not enough spice to be a rye. That age and funk could only be the old Overholt 11-year rye. That would be the oldest rye that I have. And the stale cardboard note is there in that particular rye. So I'm confused. Very confused. Alrighty, what do we got in the chat? Hey now. That's come on now. No, it's cool. Let me know. Let me know. I mean, I'll cost and ship one if you really want one when they do come around here. I did not know Jeremy was a vegan. So you learn something new every day. Okay, I don't know where to go from here. My God. I'm going to say that glass number 4 is my rye. I'm going to say glass number 1 is my scotch. I've already ventured a guess. I'll go back to that and figure out what I think that one is. Glass number 2, I'm going to say is Old Forester 1910. And glass number 3, I have to say glass number 3 is a bourbon. And that's what I will determine. So I think in this flight, I know we have a scotch, bourbon, and a rye, but I think there are 2 bourbons in this flight. And that is my guess there. So glass number 2 I can put aside because I've guessed that one. Let's go back to glass number 1, the supposed scotch, and let's see what the heck is going on here again. Yeah, that double cask type note, like the Macallan 12 double cask or a Balvenie Doublewood 12, that is what's standing out to me right now. She should have snuck in an Old Potrero rye. Then you have no doubt. I don't even know what that is. I have never even heard of that, Peter. Aiden says, I'm a believer in equal trade. I'd rather someone drink it than me buy one and have it sit around. If you see any, let me know. I can PayPal you. Absolutely, yeah. I'll let you know, man. Okay. There's good confectionery sweetness in this. That nice ginger note, those red stewed fruits, the toffee and vanilla, which I feel like there's got to be some bourbon cask influence in this scotch. As I turn around and look at my scotches, yeah, nice French oak there at the end. I've got to say, I think this scotch is the Macallan double cask. That's going to be my final answer on the scotch. Number 2, I say, is Old Forester 1910. So it's down to glasses 3 and 4 now to figure out what the heck is in this flight. Wow, 11 likes on the video. That's awesome. Thank you guys so much. And thank you to those of you who are tuning in right now. Let me get a sip of water here. Yeah, you guys are talking about Old Potrero. I've never had it. Yeah, Aiden, do you get those in your area? I'd be curious. I mean, if it's one of those things where cost ship each other, antique, Old Potrero, that kind of thing, that'd be I'd love to try it. Never heard of it. I don't. Is it any good? Is this one of those things that you're saying is distinct because it sucks, or is it because it's good? That's the real question. Glass number 3 is throwing me for a loop. The nose is so amazing on glass 3, but the palate is not that great. And I don't know what's happening. Got to pour a little bit more out of these sample bottles. All right, glass 3 again. So sorry I'm taking so long on this flight. What the hell is glass number 3? That could be a rye. Glass number 3 could be a rye. Potro's right here. I'd rather give you the money. Yeah, for sure. Well, I mean, it's one of those things. If you find it, if you do find that, and just, let me know. I mean, maybe you pay me for an antique, I could give you some money for that, and we could just figure it out. One of those kind of things. Glass 3 is a mystery. Let me remind you guys of glass 3. See if you can see that. Not sure. As I look away. Yeah, I can't figure this one out. It smells so. Oh, this is a Michter's product. I just looked over at my shelf and I saw the row of Michter's. This has to be a Michter's product. Yes. I know exactly what this is. Okay. So I I love and I hate Michter's. Michter's is like, and I'm talking about the core range. Michter's has the small batch, the American whiskey, the sour mash, and the rye. And all of the interesting, sorry, train of thought. All of those Michter's products are like almost great, even in the core range, like almost great. Um, then when you get to the 10, obviously the 20, 25, I'm sure that stuff's amazing. Some of those I haven't tried. But of the Michter's core line, the one that has always stood out to me for whatever reason is the sour mash. The Michter's American is too sweet. It's too light on the palate. It's too watery. The Michter's small batch I really like as a daily drinker. I love to give it to guests. There's like a dark chocolate slash espresso note with nice baking spices in the Michter's small batch. It's nice. But the Michter's sour mash has this nose of slight banana, but it smells old. It smells like musty, like a dusty bottle for whatever reason. But on the palate, it's not that. The palate reminds you of a Buffalo Trace product. That's exactly what I'm getting from Glass 3. I think Glass 3 is a Michter's sour mash. That just popped into my brain because of seeing the Michter's row on my shelf. So that's my guess. Wow. See, that is not at all how I would rank those. I would go sour mash, bourbon, and American. Wow, shit, this is a hard ranking. Look, I got to do a video on the Michter's core line based on this. I need to do them all in a row. I haven't done that before, but I've had them all at different times, and the sour mash stands out for me for whatever reason. Michter's barrel strength rye and toasted rye are great. I have the 10s, and they're good, but not worth the price. Yeah, the the toasted rye I had at Bardstown Bourbon Company when I was there last month, but like the glass I got, I think was a dirty glass, and I didn't want to complain. I'm not a complainer when I'm at restaurants. I kind of just take what I get, and maybe that's a character flaw, but I felt like what I was smelling and tasting was odd. I had a Midwinter Night's Dram, and I had a toasted rye next to each other. Midwinter was like okay, a very specific kind of flavor. Those are just fine for me. And I had a Michter's toasted rye that I was like, man, there's something in this glass. But maybe it's just a strange rye. But I thought the glass was dirty because people rave about that, and I was like, I'm not that crazy about this right now. Daniel, welcome back. Welcome back, and congrats on getting your son down. I don't have any children of myself yet, but I'm sure that is a task. But freshly engaged, so one of these days we'll pop them out. One of these days. Yeah, so I said glass number 3, I believe, is Michter's Sour Mash, and glass number 4 is the final one here, and I think this is the rye whiskey. I just have to figure out what rye this is. It's nice and sweet, but tons of spice, but balanced with a really large amount of sweetness here. Colin Wickham, hey man, thanks for hopping in here. It's good to see you. It can be far worse. Under an hour. Under an hour. Wow, that's nice. Update on what I'm sipping. Cooper's Craft Barrel Reserve. Rob, I've not tried any of the Cooper's Craft stuff yet, but Jason from Mash and Drum did a review of the 100 proof, whatever that is, and I'm really curious to try that. But it's a Brown-Forman product, I believe, and I'm not as crazy about Brown-Forman stuff for whatever reason. They all have that banana note that I can't get behind. Aiden says he likes the Michter's American because he can't think of anything like it. And if you're going to have a whiskey on a sunny... Yeah, I would... Okay, I am down for that. It's such a light whiskey. It's so vanilla forward. It's a vanilla bomb. And that's what I used to introduce people to bourbon, is Michter's American. But for me, it's just a little bit too light, you know? It's like... It's almost like if they had like a really aged version of the American whiskey at a slightly higher proof, I would love to try that. But who knows? Nostalgia. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, That'll bias anybody in any situation. Um, yeah, right. Oh, the Brown Foreman. I was like, what's BF? Brown Foreman. Okay, glass number 4 again. Final try on this glass number 4. Again, reminder of what the hell is in glass number 4 here. Hopefully you can see that. Hopefully. Okay, here we go. Yeah, seems like a higher proof. I don't think this is Pikesville. This is really confusing me. I'm assuming this is the rye based on what I've said everywhere else here. So peppery. This is such a peppery whiskey. I'm looking at my ryes, trying to figure out what I've got here. Smells delicious, though. I don't know. Here's what I'm going to say. I think this is the Elijah Craig rye, but well, no, I don't. Do I think that? I don't know what I think. I can't figure this out. Hey, for those of you tuning in right now, I know we've got a couple extra viewers here. 9. It's great. Young channel, 9 viewers. I'll take that. That's awesome. Please like the video if you wouldn't mind. That would be amazing. You know, trying to get some more likes here. 10 viewers. Setting a record here in the double digits. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel. I'm not sure how many subs I have at this point, but I had 197 when the video started. So if we could hit 200 tonight, we might already be there. I can't even see it. I don't have it pulled up, but that would be awesome. Okay, back to glass number 4. There's so much sweetness and caramel in this. I'm going to say this is Pikesville. Okay. Glass 1, I'm going to say is Macallan Double Cask. Glass 2, I'm going to say is Old Forester 1910. Glass 3, I'm going to say is Michter's Sour Mash. And glass 4, what did I just say? Pikesville. Okay, let's start with glass 1. This is the big reveal. Here we go. Glass 1. Shit! Oh, I was between a couple of these. Glass 1 is, well, I can see now why you guys are having trouble seeing these. Tamdu 10-year-old. And that is entirely Oloroso sherry cask finished. And let me grab that bottle, and you're going to see I'm in my sweats now as I do this. Also, let's just note the cute little octopus that my fiance got me for Christmas. Tamdu 10-year was in this first 4. And look, in Ohio, this is getting flexed out right now as a last call product because it's a state-controlled system. Oh, come on, autofocus, find me. There we go. Because it's a state-controlled system, they are flexing this product out. And so it's like 20 or 26 bucks for this 10-year-old single malt scotch, which I believe is entirely aged in sherry casks with no ex-bourbon casks involved here. Yes, that is the case. Now, it doesn't say what kind of sherry casks are aging it. So I would have to guess that there's a mixture of Oloroso and Pedro Jimenez sherry casks in here because the sweetness couldn't all be coming from an Oloroso cask. I just wouldn't imagine. So although maybe they're like second, third, or fourth fill casks, you know, those extra used casks might not impart as much sherry flavor as one might think. But anyways, in Ohio, this Tamdu 10-year is like 20 or 26 bucks right now because they're flexing it out. Although it's only available at last call stores, and there are none of these in Columbus. They're all in Youngstown, which is 3 hours away. I drove to Youngstown one day to buy up a bunch of last call products at these discounted prices, and I got this. And this thing has not disappointed. Still quite a bit left because I ended up buying the 15-year, and that thing is incredible. But these Tamdu single malts are freaking amazing. So, and I often confuse that with the Macallan 12-year double cask blind. So here we are. I will take that. I'll take that L on this one. That's a great whiskey. Let's see what we have in the chat here. Oh, wow. Okay, let's go back up here. Aiden, passed out. I like the rye. Sour mash is cardboard heavy for me. Yeah, and I said some. Yeah, and I mentioned the cardboard note. It is definitely in there for whatever reason. Peter likes the American as well. Yeah, that's an easy sipper. Daniel, got my first bottle of Smoke Wagon Uncut Unfiltered yesterday, batch 31. Really enjoyed the first pour. Yeah, so I've got these two uncuts up here, and these are before they started putting batch numbers on the bottles. So I'm not sure if Aaron from Smoke Wagon has released that list of proofs yet for the batches before they put the stickers on the bottles. I need to look for that, but I have two different batches before they started putting the stickers on. So I'd be curious to know what they are. Yeah, and I might have a pour of this next and talk about that. Aiden says, I can't find any Smoke Wagon. Yeah, and it's not here in Ohio either. He's still real. I mean, they're still starting to get those out into different markets, it seems like. Brian, channel's off to a good start. Yeah, Brian, it really is. And it's freaking me out a little bit. I mean, sometimes I'll wake up and see, for instance, like to get monetized, you have to get 4,000 watch hours in a year. Sometimes I wake up and see 50 watch hours in one day, and it's like, whoa, you know, like, or 25 subscribers in a day, just kind of crazy things. So I'm really happy about the way that it's all going, and I'm just trying to continue doing the right things here. Not bad overall, honestly. And you mentioned that at the start, didn't you? I think you're talking about the Tamdu. Is that right? But yeah, I mentioned that it could be a Tamdu. And yes, so it is. But I was wrong on the Macallan 12. And honestly, the Macallan 12 double cask, I don't like that much. Even though I confuse it with this sometimes. But if I liked it as much as I like this, I should have known it was a Tamdu product. I really should have. Okay, glass number 2. I said Old Forester 1910, although I could see this being the Old Forester rye. Oh, shit. Michter's single barrel rye in glass number 2? Wow, yeah, that is a confusing one. Well, I screwed this up. I gotta taste this. I have a bad feeling about this. I have a bad feeling that she poured me all Michter's products in 2, 3, and 4. Class number 3, I said, was Michter's Sour Mash. Yes, I got number 3. Okay, I'm glad I got that because once it clicked for me, that sour mash has a distinct flavor. And now that... Hang on. No, I don't believe glass number 4 is Michter's small batch. I don't believe so. So I hope she didn't play that cruel trick on me. Right now, I am... I'm 1 for 3. Although I'll give myself a half-point credit for number 1 because I did say that it could have been that Tamdu. All right, glass 4, I said, was Pikesville. Jesus Christ. It's Four Roses Small Batch Select. Interesting. And all that spice in there, and because Four Roses is a high rye bourbon, all of that spice threw me off. It actually has more spice than the Michter's single barrel rye does. So go figure. Yes, this was one heck of a tricky flight. I got a point. I got 1 out of 4. I give myself 1.5 out of 4 for the first glass of scotch there, but God, tough flight. Yeah, Sarah did very well with these pours. I'm telling you what. And she knew what she was doing when she poured these things. So, I need to expect these tricks next time. What do we have here? Michter's rye is sourced from Brown Foreman. I didn't know that. That makes more sense because I thought it could be an Old Forester 1910 or an Old Forester rye. I didn't know that. Night and day between those ryes. Michter's sources a lot from Brown Foreman. Okay. Give yourself a half point for 2, honestly. Yeah, okay, maybe. Maybe I'll take 1.75 out of 4. Maybe that'll be my final score. Rob, she is tough on the blinds, man. She's very tough. Like, she could be really mean and pull out things that I never drink. Like, she could pull out, like, Let me look at the bottom shelf here. Like she could pull out like a Heaven Hill Green label 90 proofer, Kentucky exclusive, you know, and pull out like a Baker's. I don't ever drink Baker's, and pull out like, I don't know, one of my different batches of Remus or Pure Reserve. She's not mean. She's not cruel. She's just tricky. So and I like that. She's a keeper. Woo, man. Those are. I have also been curious about that new Woodford release, Peter. So I know Jason from Mash and Drum. I trust his palate a lot, and I know he said that he actually really likes it. So I've been thinking about trying to get one of those new Woodfords. Okay, well that concludes the blind flight portion of this. God, that was a tricky mess. I might finish some of these glasses tonight. So I'm going to put them behind me here. Interesting. Yeah, the Michter's Sour Mash. You know, Aiden, I apologize. I know you're not a fan of this. Let me grab the bottle real quick, guys. Here's what I've got to say, especially like having just done this blind, and with my prior opinions of it as well. This Michter's Sour Mash on the nose is absolutely delicious. It smells to me like a dusty whiskey. It also has like some semblance of Buffalo Trace honey sweetness. But the palate, which one was this? I believe number 3. Yeah, it smells great. A little bit of cardboard. Palate falls a little bit flat. But all I would say is that this is a unique whiskey. And if you can find it around $40 in your area, take the chance and see if you like it. You might not, but for me, this is one that I can sit and nose all night, even if the palate does fall flat. So it's an interesting pour at the very least, for what it's worth. Let's see here. Brian says Jason's palate is tight. Maybe you meant to say right. I'm not sure. Or tight. Could be tight. Who knows? Yeah. I really, like, Jason is one of those people that I really want to collaborate with because I live about 20 minutes away from him. And I know he's all about, like, helping out young whiskey channels and stuff like that. So I've been thinking about reaching out, but I definitely don't want to overstep my boundaries by doing so. Obviously, he's got, like, 30-some thousand subscribers. But, yeah, Jason is one that I really want to collaborate with because I really trust his palate and everything like that. That's funny. Jason has never steered me wrong. Yeah, Rob, he's legit, man. I have the Sour Mash Toasted Barrel, not open. Yeah, Peter, I've heard that the Sour Mash Toasted Barrel is not great. I've heard that the Toasted Barrel is better, even though it's still not great, depending on the year. And then I've heard that the Toasted Rye, which I believe you said you had open, that is like the standout, which makes sense to me. But I don't think, yeah, the Sour Mash Toasted Barrel, I'd probably trade that as well, just from what I've heard. Tight, as in good. Yeah, absolutely, Brian. Michter's production started in-house in 2015, but yeah, right. I mean, I know they're sourcing, Aiden, but I thought they actually sourced some from Heaven Hill, but maybe I could be wrong about that. I thought it was like a mixture of different places, but I thought Heaven Hill was involved, but maybe not. I'm not sure. Okay, 13 likes in the video. Thank you guys so much. That's awesome. Okay, well, oh yeah, I should take you through my whiskey shelf here. So before we go any further, it's 9:07. It's been about an hour. Doing well. Let me take you through my whiskey shelf. Give me 2 seconds here. Give me just a second. 198 subscribers. So I've only gained 1 subscriber tonight. Hoping I can get to 200, though. That would be amazing. All right, so like I said, I've got this camera, this beast, this lug ready to go. Let me see if I can flip over my video to this camera, and then I can take you all through my whiskey shelf. Okay, here we go. And I apologize. As I do this, I won't be able to see the chat or anything like that. Well, I can maybe peek over, but here we go. Let me try to switch my camera over and make sure my audio doesn't get all jacked up. There we go. Okay. So let me know if you guys can hear me. I'm going to switch my camera over or switch my audio over rather to this camera. Here we go. Let's see. Give me 2 seconds. So sorry. 2902 is what it says. Give me 2 seconds. I'm so sorry, guys. 0066. Camera link 4K. Check, check. Can you guys hear me? Let me know if you can hear me. I know the audio probably just changed, but here we go. I'm going to take you through my whiskey shelf here. Beautiful. Okay, so let me show you around the room a bit. I've got a long cable, so we can kind of do this. Obviously, we're at the door, but if we walk into the room, what we have here is originally what was a podcast layout. So I used to have a podcast, and we would sit at this table, we would shoot the podcast here. But the table has since turned into sort of a whiskey table, etc. So we've got some bottles on the table. I keep some high-class bottles here for the most part. Some Glenmorangie limited edition, some Glendronachs. I've got some different memorabilia on the wall from my time as a drum corps person, and a mask from Beijing, and I've got some things from Russia over here, just some things from my different travels. But what's funny about this room is that it is a Scotch room, or a bourbon room, or a whiskey room, or whatever you want to call it, but it's also, it's a closet in here as well. So, like, my closet is in this spare room because our house is from the 1940s, and it is not filled with closet space. So it's really just like extra clothing racks. But the way I do my live streams here, you can see I've got my lighting set up. I use these two lights on the sides as fill lights, and then I use this light as my face light, or key light as they call it. And then, over here I keep whiskey glasses on this shelf, which you can see the shelf's pretty empty because I'm using all of my glasses and things like that. But let's go to my whiskey shelf here. Yeah, Daniel, Russia is freaking crazy, man. So crazy. So this shelf has 5 layers, and each one holds about 32 bottles. So on this shelf I've probably got, I don't know, 160, 170 bottles total. So on the bottom shelf, we've got some interesting choices down here. I keep all my Isla scotches. Sorry, wrong bottom shelf. Make sure I'm looking at the right one. On my bottom shelf here, I've got a lot of Heaven Hill products. Let me bump the brightness for you all. Got some Elijah Craig, like regular Elijah's, some like store picks, Toasted Barrel, although that doesn't really belong on the bottom shelf. Heaven Hill bottled in bonds, things like that. Actually, I have this Old Weller 12 because I have nowhere else to put this, so it's on the bottom shelf, but my God, is that a great bottle. All the ones in the back are terrible. Proper 12, America Whiskey, but in the front here, I've got some great pours. Old Ezra 7, Jack Daniel's Single Barrel Proof, Chatty at 111 cask. I mean, some really great stuff. Behind that, I have all of, like, some random, like, Yellowstone Select. I've got, what would that be? Davis County, all that kind of stuff. So let me look at the chat here. Great, so you guys are still with me. So on the second shelf here, I get my Isla whiskeys on the right side. Okay. You can see I've got a Lefroy PX cask, Lagavulin Ardbeg. Then I've got my Macallan 12 double cask. I've got some Johnny Green, Johnny Black, Compass Box, Spice Tree, Macallan 12 Sherry, Glenmorangie Cake. I've got some just like middle of the road scotches on this shelf, which I love Scotch. Then the old Michter's Row, which is what I saw on the live stream, which clued me into knowing that that was the sour mash. Got the American back there. The small batch. Sorry for the shaky camera work. The small batch is over here in my decanter. So I keep Michter's small batch in my decanter. Yeah, all my 1792 bottles, you can see all the caps there. My Woodfords, my Four Roses, my Russells. All my turkey products basically right here. I need a rare breed, I just ran out. As we move up the shelf, we're getting into some good territory here. So, let me see what we got in the chat. Just poured Yellowstone Select, ECTB. I had one of Eddie's. Okay, cool. So on this shelf here, I keep all my ryes on the right side. And I need more ryes. Good Lord. I got the Rare Breed. I've got some limiteds up front. Rare Breed, Elijah Craig, and Overholt 11. Those are my limited ryes. Behind that, the Old Forester rye. I've got Pikesville. I've got my Michter's over here, my Sazerac. And then for some reason, Buffalo Trace and Eagle Rare are mixed in here. Moving over, we got all the Larceny barrel proofs that have been released. We have the last 7 releases of Elijah Craig barrel proof. Thank you, Nick, for hooking me up with A119. Then we got some Jim Beam products coming up here. We got some Jim Beam products here on the left side. Granddad 114, 3 makers, variants. We have the 101, we have a Private Select, and then we have the 46 cask. And then Knob 9 single barrel, 2 15-year store picks, a Baker's, and then Knob Creek 12 is over here on the drum. Okay, let's move up a shelf. How we doing in the chat? A119. Heyo, yeah, absolutely, Nick. Pesky says, I don't know what your day job is. Must pay well, damn. Well, we'll talk about that. It's hit or miss, Daniel. On the second to top shelf here, got my Sam Houston's. This gap in the back is where my smoke wagons are. And they're out here on the drum. This is like the Buffalo Trace shelf. So I got my Weller's foolproof store pick antique 12. I've got 2 old Weller 12s in the back, a raised wheat and the 2015. Bland straight from the barrel. I've got all my mash bill 2 here, plus a Caribou in the back, if you can see it right there. Got the full Bowman line besides any Abraham Bowman. Alberta cast strength in the back there with a Bell Mead cast strength. Luxro 12. I've got 2, 3, and 4 from Remus Repeal Reserve. I have Stag batches 12 through 15. Full Redwood line plus an old batch 2 American. So that's this shelf, which is an interesting combination of Buffalo Trace products and some really, really good stuff. Really, I'll get to the chat here in a second. Okay, so at the top here, God, I need a freaking step stool. Let me see. I have a chair right next to me. Let's get on this chair. I wish you guys could see me doing this. How goofy I look. I thought about doing 2 cameras. So this is a Scotch Shelf plus a couple top shelf pours. Don't know why this 4 Roses single barrel is here. It's just a regular old, single barrel. Magnus Cigar Batch 24, Bardstown Copper and Kings Apple Brandy, Peerless Small Batch Rye. I've got this 1982 Johnny Walker Black, Chateau de la Baude from Bardstown, and a 1983 Grandad Bonded. A couple little samples and minis. Now top here, all Scotch. So there's Glenfiddich 1512, just the whole Glenfarclas line is up here. Aberfeldy 21, Balvenie 15, lots of good stuff. Okay, getting down from the old chair. And finally, let's wrap it up with what's on the actual whiskey table here. Got 2 Booker's batches, Boston batch and Granny's batch, Tamdu 15, Turkey Master's Keep 17 bottled and bond, the full Glendronach line 12, 15, 18, 21, and a 19 single cask. Got Glenmorangie Alta, Glengoyne 21, EH single, EH small batch, Glenmorangie Signet, Glenmorangie Cadboll Estate, and then Nick, these are your whiskey wars that I need to give you. So that's it. That is the whiskey room here. There's also a Bardstown Oloroso sherry cask right over here sitting by its lonesome with some other glasses. But yeah, let me bring back my other camera now and see what is in the chat. Sorry if I made you sick with my camera work. God forbid. Audio. Let's change the audio back to the good mic, and let's change the camera back there. Okay. So as you can see, I make this room look a lot better in these videos by shooting this way. And it's really just like the camera's as close as it can be to the wall, and it shoots down here, creates a decent bit of depth and everything like that. And I have enough lighting to kind of make it look all right. And I'm actually going to change my exposure back on my camera here, get a little bit brighter since we're not doing any blind pours anymore. But yeah, that is the kind of the setup here. And it's really, it's cozy. We have a small house that we're renting here in Columbus, and like I said, it's from the 1940s, so this room doubles as like storage and closet space, but also the whiskey room. So let me check the chat now. Daniel says, man, do I want to go to Russia? Yeah, Russia's amazing. I was in St. Petersburg, and it was just like, you just can't believe you're there, you know? But the outskirts of the city are very terrifying. The inner part of the city is beautiful and ornate and full of propaganda when you go to different like plays and theaters and things like that. But like the outskirts of the city are terrifying. It's very interesting. Yeah, Bottom Shelf had Toasted Barrel, Chatty 111. Those are great pours. And Toasted Barrel just keeps getting better for me. So I'm reviewing that. I'm reviewing both of those, actually. I think tomorrow I'm going to record those videos because I given myself the day off. I just poured my heel of Yellowstone Select. Peter, man, I can't get into Yellowstone Select. I mean, any of that Yellowstone stuff is just not so great for me. I would love to try. I'd love to try a store pick single barrel of that. That would be amazing. I've only had the shelfer. Oh yeah, I saw this when I was over there showing you guys my shelf. It depends, you know. Like I'm self-employed and I am a professional percussion soloist. I tour and I do a lot of things. So obviously with COVID, like non-existent is my work. It just depends. But before COVID and when COVID is over, I'm all over the place, all over the country and Europe and stuff like that, playing shows. So yeah, it just depends. It depends on the month. No Willet Rye here. You won't find that on my shelf. Although I do want to get another one. Ooh, that would be an interesting pour. Professional drums. Yep. Really enjoy Hancock's. Hancock's got third in my blind the other night, so I think it's like the most manageable price for the Buffalo Trace Mash Bill 2, especially on secondary. It's only like $80 as compared to Blanton's being $100, and you know all the others being absurd. Redwood do such good work. Yes, I think Redwood is going to be a hidden gem, and I have not had one of their what do they call those, haystack needles? But haystack needles on my list of something that I really want. Rob, yeah, man, that batch 2 American is like a weird bottle, but it's a sleeper for me. And I bought a full case, and I sold all of them except the one that I kept just to pay for my one bottle. Basically, I sold them at cost, but it's because I got a discount on the case. Anyways, but yeah, I think when those were out, they were $45 or $50 off the shelf, and I think they're pretty good. Yes, we got to make that. I got to get you those bottles back and then do the benchmark vertical. Sweet. So Daniel, I perform as a soloist, but I'm not actually just a drummer. So I do like percussion. So I play marimbas, I play vibraphone, I play full setups on stage. And this actually brings me to a good point here. Let me check these. That might be true. I've never had 4-gate, so I can't attest to that. So I wanted to tell all of you guys a little bit something for whatever reason. A year ago today, I remember these dates because like big performances in my mind stick to me, and I remember the dates of them. So January 14th, 2020 was a really big performance. I was down in Dallas, Texas, and I was playing at the Meyerson Symphony Center, which is where the Dallas Symphony Orchestra plays. And the group that I played with was called the Dallas Winds. It's a wind ensemble, not an orchestra, but it's the most known wind ensemble in the U.S. Basically, it's led by this guy named Jerry Junkin who teaches at UT Austin. And I wanted to tell you guys this because a year ago I played a solo percussion concerto with that group, and what a concerto means is that you're the soloist and the ensemble is sort of like your accompaniment or your backup band in a way. And so that was a year ago today. It was the biggest stage I've ever played on. A couple thousand people in the audience in a massive, massive concert hall in Dallas. And so for the occasion, I thought, because I get a lot of questions on the live streams about kind of what I do and in the comments of my videos and in my messages, I thought I might show you guys a quick video if that's okay with you. If it's not, tell me, don't show it. That's totally fine. I won't show it. But I have a clip from my concerto performance with him, which is like the very, very end of the piece. It's basically like the end of my drum solo to the end of the piece, right? And I thought I would show it because, you know, I get a lot of questions, and it's a little anniversary today. And I haven't been on stage with an ensemble like that in quite a long time because of COVID. So it's kind of special to look back on those memories a little bit. So I thought I would play this really quickly, and then I'll check out the chat and everything. But give me a thumbs up that you can hear the clip, please, when it does start playing. So here we go. This is the end of the giant slowdown in the drum solo to the very end of the piece. Here we go. All right, so, little clip there of last year's performance, exactly 1 year ago today. And in fact, it was probably exactly 1 year ago that I was going on stage to play that because we were in Central Time, and that was not the first piece on the concert. So that's what I do for a living. I get to go around and play things like that. So it's amazing, and that's why, I've done a little bit of like audio video stuff before this. I'm used to being on stage and performing and all that. So like doing this whiskey channel for me was like a no-brainer that I was like, yeah, man, I would love to do that. And I kind of know my ropes or know the ropes around all the production type things. So that's why this has been such an exciting project, because with COVID and everything like that, my performance career has just been, stalemated for the time being until live music comes back. So until then, it's like this is a great outlet for creativity and to do fun things, and still feel like I'm producing something. Producing these review videos or doing these live streams, that is always just a lot of fun. And so I thank you guys for hanging out with me and all that kind of stuff and really being supportive. That means a lot. Yeah, sorry about the audio visual sync. Now I know that StreamYard is not that great with that kind of thing. I might try to figure out what the delay is, so the next time if I ever do that, I can sync that up. But that's a whole other experiment that needs to happen. Yeah, let's see what we got here. Aiden says, any favorite classical composers? I'm a sucker for Debussy. I don't know. Not really any favorites. I love all of it. Piazzolla is amazing. I love that. I love the groove of tango music. So Piazzolla is really incredible. And obviously Beethoven wrote great stuff, and not as big of a Mozart fan. I heard that as you get older, you like Mozart more and more. So that's still to be determined. But lots of new music for me, lots of contemporary stuff. So yeah. Daniel says, you must have been a young prodigy to have already achieved this level of skill success. I don't know. I just worked really, really hard, man, and I got into drum corps and some other drummy type things early on in my life, and went through music school, and one thing led to another, and I was just real curious along the way, I guess, and everything kind of has worked out to this point. Although COVID was a really dark time, it's still dark for me in my career, but I think being creative and doing this whiskey channel and doing other things as well, learning a lot about video production, has sort of kept those emotions at bay for now. So, bam, there it is. Encore. Thanks, Nick. Bluestones, it feels like forever ago. Yeah, it does feel like forever ago that anyone has seen live music. Brian, no, man, no. It's I wish I played more drum set. With what I do, I get to travel and do a lot of things, but sometimes I'm a little bit of a slave to the grind. You know what I mean? Like, I have to play the same music over and over and over again at some of these shows. So it does get, sometimes you're not creatively fulfilled, and I wish I could just play more drum set, to be honest, or play in a local band sometimes. So it's always just perspective, I think. Yeah. Okay, well, I saw Rob gave a comment here. Let's see what this says. As someone who has had Cameron perform at my school and has performed my own music, holy crap, this guy's legit and amazing. Oh, thanks, man. Yeah, Rob teaches at Ohio University, and I was down there in September of 2019, and Rob had me in to play a recital, and it was really incredible. So I played one of his pieces, which I'm going to be shooting a music video for here in the next week or two for some upcoming virtual concerts. But this is a good time to say, too, the reason I did this live stream tonight on this Thursday night, this sort of pop-up, number one, on Monday, I said I was going to start doing Thursday night live streams because correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm not competing with any major whiskey channels to my knowledge, but I could be. I'm sure every day of the week is taken by someone doing a live stream, but Monday was especially bad because Shelf Turds were live and some others, so I thought I'd move to Thursday. But the other thing is, like, after that Monday night live stream, I slept a little bit that night, and then I stayed up for like 40 hours straight working on this virtual concert, and I was shooting all the videos in my basement, and then I sat in this room for 12 hours and just edited video. So by the time Wednesday morning at noon rolled around, I went to bed, which was yesterday at noon, and I slept for a few hours and then went to bed last night. So I was like, you know what? Fuck it. I am tired, and I'm going to do a live stream on Thursday, like I said. And I took today off, basically. So I was just kind of relaxing because I can't stay up for 40 hours anymore. It's just too much work. So that's why I did this, for all these virtual concerts that we musicians have to play these days with COVID. Hey, if you're just tuning in, please smash that like button, as the YouTubers say, and subscribe to the channel if you're enjoying what you're seeing and everything like that. Let me see what we're doing on subscribers here. Still says 198 for me. Let me refresh the page and see what we got. 198. Man, I really want to hit 200 subscribers tonight, so it'll be amazing if we could get there, but we'll see. Yeah, Rob, I've already had a week since Monday. It's been a crazy week, man. So tomorrow I'm just going to hang out and shoot drums and drams content. I love being self-employed because it's like, hey, I did a lot of work. Take the next 2 days off, and so tomorrow's going to be all drums and drams, shooting reviews, editing reviews. So I'm excited about that because I'm a little behind on some things that I wanted to do. But for all of you that are in here right now, I am going to be going live on Saturday just for a short live, maybe an hour tops. It's going to be called Second Chance Saturday. And I'm going to revisit Stag Junior Batch 15, and I'm going to revisit Yellowstone 2020 Limited Edition. I think probably just those two on a live stream, and give them a second chance since I've reviewed both of them and see if anything's changed. Aiden says, let me tell a liquor store friend to sub. Thanks, man. That'll be awesome. I really appreciate it. So let me guys know what you think. I want to sip on a couple extra things tonight. That was a 4-pour flight, but I probably only had a little bit of each pour. I'm curious, what would you rather talk about? Knob Creek 12, a comparison between Bardstown Discovery 3 and 4, or a comparison between two Smoke Wagon uncut, unfiltered batches? Let me know what you think in the chat, and I will pour those and taste them. You probably hear the sirens outside right now. Alpha King Dream. Alpha King Dream called the bourbon. I don't know what this means, Nick. I have no idea. Aiden says, drink whatever interests you most. Okay. That's tough. That's between the Smoke Wagon comparison and the Bardstown comparison. Alex says Bardstown. Hey, Alex, first time in the chat, I think. Welcome. Thank you for being here. Daniel says Bardstown or Smoke Wagon. Brian, gotta run. See you on your next live. Thank you so much, Brian, for tuning in. I really appreciate it, and I'll see you next time. Say hi when you're here next time, please. Have a good night. I only have the Smoke Wagons. Love to get any of the others. Nick says, say it out loud and louder. Alpha King Dream calleth the bourbon. Alpha King Dream. I don't know, man. I'll fucking drink all the bourbon. Okay. All right. It's one of those. Okay, well, let's do this comparison. Then let's do Bardstown 3 and 4. And if I'm still standing, then we can do Smoke Wagon. But if it's too late, maybe I won't do Smoke Wagon. But let's do Bardstown 3 and 4 and see what we get here. You know, the worst thing about these live streams is when you have to pee. Because you can't really leave. That would be not great. All right. Get some squeaky corks on these Bardstown bottles. So this is Bardstown 3. Discovery 3. And then we're going to go to Bardstown Discovery 4. And this is the signature of Stu Plush, who is on the culinary team at Bardstown. I think he might be the executive chef even. And he is the one who blended this batch of Discovery 4. All right. So the differences here in these two batches, Bardstown Discovery 3 is 55% and Discovery 4 is 57.5, so a 5 proof point difference. The biggest difference is, well, there's a couple, but the biggest difference is that batch 3 has a ton of MGP 13 year and batch 4 has a ton of Barton 13 year, making up the majority of the blend. Each of them have some 10-year Kentucky bourbon that's 75, 13, 12. I think that's Turkey. I'm not sure. But then there's a difference here. Batch 4 has this mash bill that I don't know. 78.5, 13 rye, and 8.5 malted barley, and it's a 15-year. So anyways, I can't tell you how much I love these Discovery products. They are freaking incredible. I think I might like 3 better than 4, but this side-by-side right here is going to pretty much determine that because I don't know that I've dedicatedly done them side-by-side for a while. I think the last time I did was when I just cracked open number 4, and so it was the neck pour, or more or less the neck pour, and things could have changed since then. So let's see what happens between these. I know these bottles are $130 MSRP, but it does not matter. These are worth it. This is quality bourbon, and it's more available than any other high-cost bourbon that you're going to find, you know, Magnus Cigar Blend, these kinds of things that you're never going to find on the shelf. These, at least here in Ohio, I know we have a market for Bardstown, and some other states, quite a few states do not. But when they do arrive in your state, they're not hard to find from what I can tell. So, you know, look for these Discovery Series bottlings. And I would probably pay up to $150 for one of these. You know what I mean? They're $130 here plus tax. It ends up being $142 in Ohio for a bottle. Okay. Discovery 3. I need some more water. I'm dried out. Let me know what you guys are sipping on right now if you are having a little pour. Daniel, I got to dip. My wife just got home. Get back to me when you get a chance. Yes, I didn't see when I actually just had that exact act and scene at Bardstown Bourbon Company a few weeks ago, Daniel, if you're still here. But I will get back to you. I'm interested in the EH barrel proof, and hopefully I can find something that can compare to that so that we can trade. Not sure how much of that you have left, but that's one that I'm interested in because I've never tried EH barrel proof. So anyways, I know that from the picture you sent me, but I'm going to take a closer look tomorrow when I have some downtime to answer all my emails and stuff. So thank you, man. Thanks for tuning in, and cheers. Have a good rest of your night. By the way, if you like modern blues, check out the band I mentioned earlier, the Blue Stones. I will check them out, Aiden. Let me write this down so I can remember it. My fiance just got home, so if you hear anything in the background, you know, it could be her, it could be the cat meowing. The cat meows very loudly. I'll write this down. Bluestones band. Okay, great. So Discovery 3 and 4. Whew. Jealous of the ice cream. Probably a good call to be done drinking. I've been trying to drink less recently. Like I've been only having a couple little things here and there besides the live streams and the tastings that I do on video. Just keep things under control, you know. Okay, so Bardstown Discovery 3 is a little bit darker on the nose than Discovery 4 in my opinion. Discovery 3 has like a ton of cherry and like really rich oak and caramels. Lots of cinnamon and baking spices. Yeah, nice age to it and really rich flavors. Discovery 4 is a little bit more rye kick for me, a little bit more green rye and like green apple. It's really, really strong on the nose. Like there is a little bit of ethanol here. It's funny because there's no MGP in Discovery 4. There is MGP in Discovery 3, but that high rye MGP green apple flavor is in Discovery 4, even though there's no MGP. So that's interesting. And it definitely has to do with the higher proof as well. Even being 5 proof points higher, this is distinctly more alcohol on the nose. There's actually some honey sweetness, dark honey, syrupy caramel sweetness in Discovery 4 that is not present in Discovery 3. Discovery 3 is more cherry, oak, butterscotch, I guess, forward. Discovery 4 almost has a Buffalo Trace high proof honey going on. Again, with that rye, though. Discovery 3 actually reminds me a bit of a Remus Repeal Reserve in its sweetness and in its sort of flavor balance. And that's definitely because it has that what is it, 13-year-old MGP. That would do it. I mean, that really reminds me of a Remus Repeal. Yeah, number 4 is just powerful on the nose. All right, let's go to the palate here on Discovery 3. Cherry and oak all the way. So rich and sweet. But balanced very well with the proof. This 110 proof, when I reviewed it on a video that I did with Fusion 3, I said that the proof was a little bit weak. I don't think so anymore. I think the proof is the perfect balance for this bottle. 110 proof on Discovery 3. A little bit of that Wild Turkey oak funk that you get from an older Wild Turkey. But so much wood, so much cherry, caramel, all that. The spice is so well integrated that you don't get hit with a ton of pepper. You don't get hit with too much baking spice or cinnamon. Basically the spice just delivers the rich flavors even more powerfully. It's great. Let's go to Bardstown 4 now on the palate. What do we got in the chat here? Oh, Nick's getting classy with Old Tub. I cannot drink Old Tub. I need to revisit it, actually. I don't do cheap Beam products very well, and I don't do cheap Heaven Hill products very well. I would say cheap Beam is harder for me than cheap Heaven Hill, though. I liked it for what it was, I think, for the most part. But it's not something I even reach for. That's funny. Okay, Discovery 4 now. Still with that green apple note up front. It's hard to get away from that rye spice and green apple in here. And the rye content of this overall, let me check. The rye content in batch 4 is overall way lower than the rye content in batch 3, but it must just be the proof and the way that these blended bourbons are interacting together that's adding a ton of this rye kick with a little bit of ethanol. Yeah, not crisp. What's the word? Like brittle caramel, if that makes sense. There's like a brittle caramel in number 4. But again, so much honey in this. So much dark honey in Discovery 4. Really great cinnamon spice in here. And a good bit of cherry and a lot of oak. The oak in number 4. The oak in number 4 is not as heavy and overwhelming as Discovery 3. It's really well balanced. It's definitely there. And I'd say it's more balanced than number 3 in some ways. But the proof is a little off-putting to me when I'm thinking about the balance. So for me, like, both of these pours are really, really great right now. It's just a matter of balance. And if you're going to have more alcohol like number 4, are you doing it in a way that works? Or is it just over-the-top proof? Let's find out here on the palate. Pretty good. Number 4 has peanut on the palate, but it's not enough peanut to be off-putting. I do not tend to like peanut in older bourbons, especially because number 4 is 15, 13, and 10 years blended. I'd prefer to not have a peanut in a bourbon of that age, or a peanut note, but in this, it's very slight, and it actually just adds to the experience overall, which I like. You go back to the nose, you get that peanut now. You get more cherry, you get more caramel, and you get more oak on the nose. I mean, once you acclimate to this in your palate, in your olfactory system, all of that, the nose opens up more. It's powerful on the palate now. Very mouth-watering. Nice mouthfeel on that. Let's go back to number 3. Let's go straight to a sip. I've got to say, I like number 3 better. You know, it's sweeter, it's richer, the flavors are more prominent. Number 4 to me just seems a little bit closed off. I've said this since the day that I opened it. I have a video of me opening number 4 in Bardstown right after I left the distillery and went back to my hotel room. And in that video, it was so closed off. And while it may have opened up a little bit since then, it's not enough for me to really enjoy Discovery 4. Discovery 3, I think the Bourbon Junkies just said it was their bourbon of the year. It was in Matt Porter's top 10. It was in Jason Calori's top 10. It's a top 10 bourbon. I mean, this thing is incredible. Batch 4 to me is a little lackluster for whatever reason. It's just too much proof with not enough backup of flavor. What do we got here? Old Tub next to 1792 Sweet Wheat. That would be interesting. I mean, the Sweet Wheat is a really weird bottle for me. It leaked a little bit in transit when it got here from the guy that shipped it to me. So, like, it could be that the bottle changed because of the heat and the leakage and shipping, or it could be that it really is that weird of a bottle. It's like strangely sweet, and I just think it's kind of weird. I don't know if I like it, but Old Tub next to that, you would definitely get the peanut and Old Tub to the nth degree if you put those side by side, I think. As a $20 bottle, it's a hitter, but it's 20. Yeah, exactly. Old Tub 20 for a reason. The finish of Old Tub is pretty fiery, but an acceptable way. Yeah. Well, shit. Maybe I'll do that comparison. That's an interesting one. 1792 Sweet Wheat, $100 on secondary plus Old Tub, which is $20 off the shelf. That's a funny comparison. Hey, thanks for everybody tuning in right now. We got 9 on the video. If you wouldn't mind liking the video, subbing to the channel if you're enjoying what you're seeing, all that kind of stuff. We did a blind flight of 4 earlier. I got 1 out of 4 out of about 170 bottles that we could choose from, but I got close on 2 of them, so I will say that. And now I just compared Discovery 3 and Discovery 4. Just threw a little bit of water in this Discovery 4. Less water than I threw in on the video that I did. I drowned it in that video, unfortunately. So let's see how number 4 does with like a small 2 to 3 milliliters of water. Oh, I like that more. Definitely brought the proof down, but water in Discovery 4 didn't bring any. It didn't make it substantially better in the flavor category. It's like, here's the way I think about bourbon. If the proof is here, the flavor needs to match how hard that proof hits, or it needs to, supersede that. But if you have proof, ethanol, and then you have flavor, that is an unbalanced bourbon, and it just hits you for no reason. It hits you hard for no reason. For me, here was the ethanol in Discovery 4. Here was the flavor, and I proofed it down, and it went like this. It was like a mutually exclusive move down for both of those, as opposed to like bringing the proof down and the flavor kind of coming out a little bit and balancing out. So that's where we are with this. Yeah, I don't know. Discovery 4 is just not that good for me. I think Discovery 3 is the way to go. So, oh shoot! Did I hit 200? No way. That's awesome. Oh, I got 200 subs. Amazing. Thank you, guys. Thanks, Aiden. That's amazing. Great. 200 subs. I'll have to celebrate that on the next live stream, because we've been on here for an hour and 50 minutes. It's been a long time. Amazing. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Sweet. Aiden's got a sweet wheat. Never opened it. One of the first to hit the market. Interesting. Nick says the finish of tub is pretty. Oh, yeah. We were already there. Hey, yo. Congrats. Thank you guys so much. 200 subs. Oh, man. It's a long journey, but all of this within about 6 weeks. 200 subs, 515 watch hours when I woke up this morning. So I'm going to keep going, try to get this thing monetized. And I think when I hit 1,000 subs, I'm going to open a Patreon. I've got T-shirts and glasses that I'm going to start doing when I get to that point. Maybe a little bit before 1,000 subs. I don't know. We'll see. But T-shirts and glasses are definitely in the works. A Patreon is definitely going to happen. And I'm going to be doing like exclusive tastings, I think. I have a lot of ideas for how to make a Patreon really, really stand out. So anyways, that's part of the plan. Let's go here. Thought about trading the sweet wheat. Doesn't sound up my alley. I would trade it. I would definitely trade it. I would get a sample of it. I would send you one, but I feel like my bottle might be a little bit of an oddball because of the way it was shipped and the leakage that happened in shipping. But I'm more than willing to send you one if you want. But I would trade it based on what I've had. 1,000 subs. Congrats. Thank you. Thank you, Alex. Thank you so much. Amazing. So I have 2 more fresh glasses behind me. I could do the smoke wagon, and then I'm going to call it a night. Or I could do sweet wheat versus old tub, which Nick mentioned in the chat. So what do you guys think? The smoke wagon, I have 2 different uncut, unfiltered batches. Or I could put one of these next to a Remus Repeal because they're both MGP. Whatever you guys want. Or I could do old tub versus sweet wheat, which is a very interesting side-by-side. It's up to you. But at the end of the day, this Discovery 3 for me far surpasses Discovery 4. And I know a lot of people love hype. They love to say, oh my God, the next batch. Oh, I got batch Stag 15. It's so amazing. It's the best batch yet. Oh, I got Discovery 4. It's the best batch yet. Let people have their reactions the day that they get those bottles, because those bottles, like a lot of bottles that come out, for instance, Stag 15 and Discovery 4 were both proof bombs when they came out. Like Discovery 4 tastes like 125 proof, not 115. And Stag 15 tastes like a hazmat bottle when you open it. People are like, oh my God, it's so amazing. No, it's because it hits you hard. The proof is crazy, and you just want that. But when you sit down and actually think about these bottles, the flavor doesn't match the proof. And that's a big, big thing for me. And then you go back and you go, oh, wait, Stag 12 is an amazing bottle. And oh, wait, Discovery 3 is an amazing bottle. And you put these side by side. And even if they are different proofs, you have to judge them on their balance and on their merits. And for me, Discovery 4 and Stag 15, don't believe all of the hype. Stag 15 has improved. Discovery 4 is marginally improved with air in the bottle. But, you know, for what it's worth, those are my opinions. Sweet versus tub sounds fun. Let's do it. Let's do it. Hydrate first. Good call, Nick. I need to hydrate, but I got to pee so bad, man. Maybe I shouldn't. We can do the smoke wagon anytime. Cheap shelf versus silly price secondary blind challenges are my fave. Let's do it. Okay. Give me a second here. Let me grab these bottles from my shelf. All right, sweet wheat, and we need Old Tub, which is on the bottom shelf. Okay. Well, here we go. Holy shit, Peter, you have a 2012 George T. I have never owned anything from the BTAC lineup, and I've only tasted a handful of them. That's amazing. Aiden, you know, I told you I trust Jason. I tuned in for like a second of the live stream, but I think I missed that tasting, and I just, like, if I'm not in a live stream from the beginning and if I don't watch it all the way through, I don't ever tune back in. It's so hard to search through it. And I might start adding timestamps to my live stream after the fact to show people who want to tune back in afterwards, like, hey, here's when I tasted this thing. But I did see that Jason enjoyed it. I think I tuned in right as he was saying that he liked it at some point. I don't know if they cracked it fresh on camera or if it had been sitting for a while, because mine has been sitting now for about a month. I tasted it a week or 10 days ago, and it was way better. So if his had been opened at all, it would have been, I would have believed that. But when I first opened it, it was just a proof bomb, and I know that's why people are saying that they really like it, is because it's a proof bomb. But everybody has a different palate, of course, and maybe it is great, and maybe I'm just an idiot, and I would be fully willing to accept that. Hot damn, Peter. Yeah, absolutely. It had been sitting. Okay. Yeah. I believe that then. And that's why on Saturday I'm going to do this video of Second Chance Saturday, because I do want to give it a fair shake on camera, where like I have one chance to do it live and I compare it, and that is, you know, that pressure is better than doing a pre-recorded video where you have a million chances to go back and redo it if you really want to, or, you know, script what you want to say. The live stuff is better in that way. So, okay. So we have Old Tub. As per Nick's recommendation, we are going to do Old Tub next to Sweet Wheat and see what the heck is going on here. Peter, did not see Old Forester 1920, or did I miss it on your shelf? You did miss it, but it's not your fault. It's because it's at the back of the shelf on tier 3 of 5. The 1910 and 1920 are back there because I've never been a big fan. Now, let me tell you why very quickly before I pour these. 1910 I bought first a long, long time ago, 6-8 months ago, and it was so sweet. I can't really get into 1910 because of how sweet it is. 1920 I bought about a month ago, and there's a note in 1910, or really two notes, banana and candied cherries. Those notes are in the 1910 for me. And I get those so strong in the 1920, even though it's a higher proof, that I just couldn't drink it, because the 1910, I just have like an aversion to that. I don't know why. Same for Woodford Double Oaked. I tend to not like double oaked bourbons. But I revisited the 1920 last week, and I loved it. So I put it in the back of that shelf because I was like, screw this, and I put it back there. I'm going to pull that back out and revisit it sometime, do a review, and the 1920 is probably going to make it to the front of my shelf because I think I really enjoy it. But yeah, it was back there, but it would have been really hard for you to see it. I would have needed to move some bottles. Aiden says, they said it was a balanced flavor bomb, definitely about 3/4 full. Destination Bourbon agreed, and I'm inclined to trust those opinions. Yeah. And I think that's probably right. I think if it had been sitting, it is a flavor bomb. But I had seen some other people talk about Stag 15 who had cracked it open and tasted immediately the neck pour. The neck pour is terrible. It's just ethanol. 70+% is what it smells and tastes like. But after sitting for a while, I think it's great, and that's why I want to revisit. Yeah, and absolutely. I'm not a big Brown Foreman fan because of the banana note and the sweetness, but I think 1920 is definitely growing on me. Yeah. And Rob, I'm inclined to believe everybody else on this and that I'm crazy and that I need to give it another chance on this. I know, Peter. That's why I'm keeping my mouth shut and giving it time. A friend of mine, one thing I was maybe considering doing on this live stream, I'm not going to now. I was going to do maybe next time now is a buddy of mine told me that if you take 1920 and you add like 3 milliliters of water over like every 10 minutes, add another 3 milliliters of water or something, that every time you do it, it changes like drastically and that different flavors come out more than most pours would. I tried that one time and it was incredible. So I might do a live stream where I proof down 1920 progressively or have a lineup of 3, 6, 9, 12 milliliters of water within the same 2-ounce pour of 1920 and just see how those flavors vary. I think that would be a very interesting video. I do not love banana notes, only if they're very light. Okay. Old Tub going in this glass, and then we will do the sweet wheat in the next glass. This will be the most interesting comparison of all. Old Tub, $20 shelfer. Sweet wheat, $100 on the secondary. It is definitely sweet. Oh, those were some uneven pours, I believe. Yeah, let me get a little more Old Tub in there. Okay. All right. I want to say this too. One thing about these glasses, I mean, I think it goes for pretty much any glass. Shit, I still need more Old Tub in that glass. I think it goes for Glencairns as well. But one thing about glasses is the volume of liquid versus the volume of air in the glass. And the reason that a lot of these glasses are designed the way that they are is to balance the amount that you pour in the glass with the amount of air that sits above it and how all of that funnels up into your nose when you're smelling the bourbon and then tasting it. And this glass, to me, these Highland nosing glasses, whatever these are actually called, this pour amount is a great pour amount, right? You can see it's like halfway or a little over halfway above the widest point of the bulb. These glasses from the Discovery 3 and 4 that I just sampled, this to me is too little in the glass. And it's because there's too much air that sits above it. And when you nose the glass, you don't get the correct balance of aromas in the nose. And this is the reason they engineered the Glencairn glass the way that they did. I don't use Glencairns because I don't like them very much. But the reason that they did, consider, I think it's a 6.25 ounce glass or something like that, is because you're supposed to put a certain amount of liquid in that glass for it to funnel the maximum amount of aroma to your nose. So anyways, I do try to make sure I have a solid pour when I do these tastings, even if it means at the end I have to pour the remainder back into the bottles because I think it's important for the tasting itself to have sort of a consistency there in the pours. So just a little spiel. I'm going to do a video about glasses here soon. I've always used these Highland nosing glasses on this short stem, and I love them. But I just got some Copitas. I got the Norland glasses. I got a neat glass. I got some Tua glasses. So I'm going to be doing a video soon of all the different glasses being compared with the same whiskey inside of them to really kind of shine some light on that. And maybe I'll change my mind and move away from using these to using something else. But until that time comes, we will see. Remember King of Kentucky is Brown Foreman. I've never had King of Kentucky. I've never been that lucky. I do know it's Brown Foreman, though. Cal's Type 2 glass for me tonight. Not Glencairn. I'd like to see what that glass is, Nick. Yeah, the 1915 is a pretty solid combo. I've had it once. I liked it definitely more than the 1910. All right, so got the tub over here and the sweet wheat over here. Let's see what we got. Old Tub. Whew. Okay, lemon zest and peanuts. Really just citrus and peanuts. Ethanol, baking spice. Crispy, what would you, not crispy, I said that earlier too. Brittle caramel. Brittle, like crispy, like caramel. Um, you could argue there's oak. You could argue. High proof, and obviously on the nose. What is sweet wheat? What is the sweet wheat proof? 45.6. Okay. And Old Tub is obviously bottled in bond. All right, sweet wheat on the nose. Wow. Yeah, definitely still that 1792 sort of banana note going on. All right, so I mean it's very sweet, obviously, as the name implies. Huge dollop of vanilla, but I don't know if any of you have ever had wheated white dog, like wheated distillate. And when I was at Bardstown Bourbon Company, we tasted the different white dogs, but we tasted also I believe it was a 3-year wheated bourbon, very young wheated bourbon. And when you taste that, you can not only taste the actual wheat grain in there, but because wheat is a passive grain, it's not as aggressive and flavorful as rye. It allows the corn to shine through, of all things, and it allows the sweetness of the corn to shine through. And on the sweet wheat here, you smell banana, you smell the wheat grain. There's some light fruits in here, but you smell the corn sweetness a lot. Very interesting. Let's go side by side here. Oh, the peanut in the Old Tub is just like, it's so freaking strong. The sweet wheat is delectable next to the Old Tub. There's a lot of honey in the sweet wheat too, but it's really, really light honey. Oh, there's so much spice. There's so much pepper and cinnamon and baking spice in the Old Tub. It's crazy how much is in there. With the peanut. I'm trying to see if there's any fruit in the Old Tub at all. I'm not getting much. I try to find like cherry because some of the older Knob Creek products will have some cherry in them or something. I mean, the only fruit that I might get out of this Old Tub would be like caramel apple, a little bit. The sweet wheat has like lighter berries, maybe with this light honey, the wheat grain, the corn sweetness, the vanilla, the light caramel. There might be like some peach or some strawberry in the sweet wheat. Sweet wheat's looking pretty good right now, but I know it's what I'm comparing it to. Here's the Discovery 3. Let's do this. Oh my God. Now sweet wheat. Yeah. Very sweet. There's still some spice on the palate though. Ooh, there's something I can't quite place. There's actually some oak on this sweet wheat. There's some oak. There's some pepper. Yes. Light cinnamon and pepper. Oak. Thin mouthfeel though, at that 92 or so proof. Some fruits, some light fruits like I mentioned. There is some cherry in there. Cherry, apricot, maybe that strawberry. Okay. All right. That's better than I thought. God, Old Tub is just hard. It's just, people say bull in a china shop. That's Old Tub. It's just like running through, knocking things off the shelves. But it's a giant Planters. If the Planters peanut guy ran through a china shop and just knocked things off the shelf, that's what Old Tub is. That's what it tastes like. I don't think I can have another sip of that. Nope. It's like a bad candy bar. Oh, God. No more Old Tub for me. Unfortunately, that's a bust. Sweet Wheat wins. Is Sweet Wheat worth $100 on the secondary market? Hell no. Absolutely not. Sweet Wheat would be a great $40 bottle. You know, it's something very different. That wheat characteristic in here is so prominent. The sweetness is so prominent. Like, I don't like how sweet it is, but the fact that it is distinct in its flavor profile and distinctly sweet with a totally different balance than any other wheated bourbon that you've tried. It's not like Weller Special Reserve or Antique or any other Weller product for that matter. It's not like Larceny. It's not like Makers. I like the fact that it's unique and one of a kind, but I don't actually like what it is so much. Like if I had to rate it, it would be like a 79 out of 100 or something like that. But if you can find it for like $40 on like for retail or on a shelf, yes, I would buy it because it is definitely interesting. I think it would work well if you blended your own blends at home. So this Sweet Wheat would add a lot to that blend. And so, you know, for what it's worth. Oh gosh, the chat. I like Knob Creek 120. Yes. I mean, Knob Creek, the 9-year single barrel shelfer is okay to me, Peter. I have to get a store pick for that stuff. Even if it's a 10-year store pick and it's 1 year older, hopefully the owner of that store has a good palate and picked a good one. The 9-year shelfer of the Knob Creek, it is a little bit harsh for me still, a little bit rough around the edges, but of course, they are single barrels, so maybe mine is just a bad barrel. That could also be the case. Of the pain on Cameron's face during Old Tub. It is painful, and that's why it is back there now. Strawberry is a note I only got with Amroot Intermediate Sherry. And Peter, when I say strawberry, this is a strange note for me too. I know people say strawberry and blueberry sometimes. I think I've gotten blueberry once, but when I say that, it's more like the idea of a light fruit, which is a strawberry, than it actually is me tasting strawberry. So it's not like an accurate tasting note by any means. But there's a lighter fruit component to it that I can't really describe. So to me, it's like, well, it might be peach apricot or strawberry or something like this. But it wasn't distinctly cherry, which so many bourbons have. So that's a tough one for me. A fat Miley Cyrus impersonator coming in like a wrecking ball. That's Old Tub, if that's what we're talking about. This is fun. America Bourbon. That was the first live stream ever, and that was a shit show. And I didn't do a hardwired internet connection, so that live stream was absolutely terrible because it froze up every 3 seconds. Yeah, that's probably true, Peter. Good job, Aiden Craig. Thank you. You guys kill me. That's funny. Oh my god! But when you go back, so now that I've been smelling and tasting Old Tub and Sweet Wheat, go back to Discovery 4, which was my least favorite of the two, and this is probably proof down to about 105, 108 proof now. Now it smells delectable. Still a strange balance. Now Discovery 3. Oh my god. Yeah, Discovery 3 is the way to go. Not a doubt in my mind. Don't believe the Discovery 4 hype. Don't believe the new release hype, please. It's not that good. Yeah, America Bourbon is hot garbage. It's in the very back of the bottom shelf for me, and I bought it as a joke because the first live stream I ever did on this channel was on election night in November. And it was called Whiskey While the World Burns. So America Bourbon was like the flagship bourbon of the night because it was about America. And yeah, it sucks ass very hard. It's so bad. It tastes like, I think I said it tastes like grandma's perfume and LaCroix or something like that. It was really bad. American marketing, white elephant gift. That's a really shitty white elephant gift though if you got it. if if you had the option to trade it to somebody, that's one of those white elephants where you want to trade, that bottle away to somebody else. That's funny. Oh my goodness. Oh, it says 197 subscribers. Am I crazy? Maybe it's just because I don't know. Maybe that's just my page being strange. Aiden, I also hate LaCroix. Let me pull up the live stream on my phone. Don't know why it says 197. Let me pull up the live stream on my phone. Yeah. Well, maybe some people unsubscribed. That sucks. Oh well. It is what it is. Well, it's been 2 hours. 2 hours and 15 minutes. And it might be time to call it a night. What do you guys think? It said 200 earlier. I know it said 200 earlier. Aiden, I hate LaCroix and perfume. Those are both bad things. You don't want to taste those in your bourbon. The old tub fans unsubscribed. Oh, God. I can't drink that. I do need to try it in a cocktail, though. I think Old Tub in a cocktail with the right things might be okay, but I just can't drink that shit regularly. And maybe on the rocks. I don't drink my bourbon over ice anymore, unless it's like a really hot summer day. I'll take like a cheap shelfer outside and drink it on the rocks. But by and large, I don't drink it on the rocks, and maybe Old Tub would do better with some ice. Yeah. The scent of grandma's perfume and LaCroix is just not great. So, all right. Well, I think I'm going to go ahead and call it a night here. Thank you guys for hanging out, watching the blind tasting, checking out the whiskey shelf, and, going through some of these bottles here. I appreciate all of it. I think it's okay to say it sucks. Yes, it is okay that a bourbon sucks and Old Tub sucks. PW nailed it. I don't know what that means, Nick. But we're going to call it a night. I am going to clean up and go to bed. But thank you guys for hanging out. And I will see you on Saturday if you're free. I think it's going to be at 2 p.m. Eastern time on Saturday for an hour tops, doing Second Chance Saturday. That's one of those videos that even if no one shows up because it's a Saturday, at least it's out there and people might revisit it later and watch it after it's been live. But I will be back, I believe, on Thursday nights now. Unless someone messages me and tells me that, like, hey, this giant bourbon channel goes live on Thursday nights, you should maybe not do it or do this time or whatever. 8 p.m. Thursdays are probably going to be the new norm instead of Mondays. So anyways, that's the scoop. And I'm going to have more reviews out very, very soon for Chattanooga 111, Elijah Craig Toasted, Bellmead Cask Strength, and some others. So I think that's it. Cheers to all of you. Thank you guys so much. Cheers from my many, many glasses of bourbon in front of me, and I'll see you next time. All right. Have a good one, guys. Have a good rest of the week and a good weekend. I'll see you Saturday if you're